everyone. So I'll be doing something slightly different from the first two speakers, which have done, a really good job. So work in Figma now. All right, let's get right into it. Okay. So for this session, I'll basically be walking us through the process of creating an icon in Figma using the grid layout. So this session is kind of divided into three. I'll talk a bit about, what to do pre-designing an icon, then while designing the icon, and then post-design the icon. So the first thing, if I zoom in here, is talk about grid layouts. And then grid layout is kind of like the skeleton of icons. It helps to provide consistency. It helps to provide like visual balance when we are comparing multiple icons. We're creating like a system or icon sets, for instance. Okay, so I'll go ahead now to recreate this grid layout. And that's using a frame. So I selected the frame here. And then I go 24 by 24 icons what we're using. All right, so then I go to the right-hand side here. And what I do is to click on the layout grid. And I add 1 pixel. And this is like to give a definition for every aspect of the layout. The next thing I'm going to do now is to move this over and talk about the key lines. Okay, that was long. So here I'm going to be replicating these key lines. And the advantage of key lines here, they kind of help to guide as we design icons. And as you see here, we have diagonal, and then we have diagonal lines, we have the circular lines, and we have the rectangle, which are basically, the components of icons if you look at it at the base level. So let me just go right in. I'm going to click on P to bring out the pen key to draw the first diagonal line. Okay, so, sorry, let me take that again. Yeah, and then there is a setting that I do, which helps to kind of give precision when designing icons. And I'm going to press Command/, which is also like Control/ for. Okay, so then this is my notch amount, which I've selected here. So if you see here, it's in 0.5. But for now, I'm going to leave it at 1 so that we can see the benefit of having it in 0.5 going forward. So the nudge amount helps me to use my keyboard to make those tiny changes to make the icon sit on the grid. And we don't want, and also because like this icon, although it looks so big here, it's just 24 pixels, so it's actually really tiny. So those little details go a long way. Okay, so another setting I also do is the snap to grid. So snap to pixel grid, snap to geometry, snap to objects. These help in precision, basically. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, so moving forward, I'm going to copy this, Control-D, and I'm going to flip it horizontally. That's Shift-H. So my pen key again. Oh, sorry. So come here. So we see what the snap does. It makes it easy for me to like select to get the end and the beginnings of the lines. So I'm going out of this. So we have what lines. I'm going to duplicate this to create the horizontal line rather. Yeah, so we have what lines here. Next thing I'm going to do now is to create a circle. And I'm going to hold down Shift and Option. And here we have a 20 by 20 pixel circle. And I'm leaving, 2 pixels on all of these sides to create like sort of margin, because circular icons tend to appear more strong as opposed to like rectangular. So giving that 2 pixel margin helps to preserve the perception. So yeah, I'll do Shift-X because I just want the stroke. I'm going to give this my color. Yeah, and give this 0 points as the others. Okay, so next in rectangle. what I'm doing is basically creating key lines for, key lines for all the possible scenarios that I may have while creating my icon. So rectangle, I will shift and, take that again, shift, an option, Ctrl Z, again. Yeah, there we go. So 18 by 18 triangle, and I'll shift X, I get it, then this, and 0.2. So I can now duplicate this to get the rectangles that are leaning more to the vertical and to the horizontal. So to get the vertical, I'm going to, duplicate this and press down Shift. So so I have this, and I'll bring it down a little bit. So this is like 20 by 16, so leaning more to the horizontal. I'm going to give this a little bit of roundness here so it looks better. Yeah, okay. Then I will also duplicate this to get the rectangle that is leaning more to the vertical. What did I press? Copy D, then, yeah. Okay, so I think that, just to be sure. Okay, so this is 20 by 16, and this is, no, this should go the other way around. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to compare, so it looks the same. Then I'll select all of this and, make it more faint so it doesn't really stand out, because we want to design the icon and not the grid. Okay, let me move a little bit more faster because time is running. I'll duplicate this. And select all of it again, and then, I think I selected the wrong things. Come on. So just hold Shift. So then I come here and use a Boolean operation to union them so they're like one single thing and they don't shift around or are working together. Then I can go ahead and make this a component. So here we have a component, and then we can use it so the instance anywhere. So this is like a reusable grid that can be used. We can go ahead to make other lines to make it more precise, but we don't need that for the example, because the example I'll be working on today is a microphone icon, so we don't need that. Yes, so now to the icon itself. We'll come back to use this. So I will briefly talk about things to note when deciding to create an icon, because in the workplace, for instance, an icon can come from, a need. So first we need to understand the use cases, and then understand where they'll be used, and then understand how it fits into, if the company already, or the product already has, an icon set that it fits into that icon set. Then also now if it's a case where, we have an image, or we have a picture, and they're like, we need to create an icon of this from this. So what we do is, or what I do, that directs the way I go about designing the icon, is to kind of break it down from being a solid shape to being shapes like rectangles, circles, and lines. So using the example of this microphone icon, the first thing I see here, even though it looks like a cylinder on this top part, it's a rectangle. So then the other one is either looks like an arc, a circle arc, or a curved line, either ways. Then the stand here looks like a vertical line, and the one line horizontal looks like an horizontal line. So doing this kind of breaks, gives direction. So now I know that, I'm creating a rectangle, and I'm creating all of this. So it's no longer a complicated icon, it's something very simple. Then after this, we're gonna go ahead to do the icon design itself. So I'll be creating, as I said before, 24 pixel, then the outline version, and the field version. So let's go to duplicate this. We'll go back to our grid layout and then move it here. All right. So the first thing I'll be doing is to create a rectangle. A 6 by 12 rectangle, and I'm going to put it in the center. Okay, so then I do Shift X. Oh, sorry. Come on. Let me click. Okay. So it flips it. Then I want black. I mean, this is too faint. So I have this. Then I'm going to leave it at 1 pixel. Usually, 24 pixel icon can be 2 pixels. I'm talking about like the stroke or the border, the outline. Most likely be 2 pixel, but because this, if I use 2 pixel here, it's going to look a little bit, thick, and we don't want that, so sticking to 1 pixel here. And here you can see that it's like inside. We have the options of putting it center and putting it outside. So I'm going to put it inside for now, and then we'll see why as we go. Then I'm going to make this rounded, maybe 12. Okay, so we have this. Now it looks like this guy. Now it looks like this guy. So going ahead, I'm going to create a circle next. Clicking O, and then here, Shift and Option. So I'm going to make it 10 by 10 for now. And we'll figure it out as we go. So 0. Then I don't know why it keeps doing this. Okay. So Shift X does the same thing. So now we see that we have like a circle. Then I hover around this. I have the dot of the arc, and I move it and on 50%. So then I come in here and I bring this all the way down. Okay, before I do that, I make this center, okay? And I move it all the way down here, so it looks, pretty clean, but the gap is too much, so I'm going to move it up. And now we see that our nudge is 1, so I want to achieve a position where the arc sits directly on this, which I can't have right now. But if I increase my nudge, if I reduce my nudge setting to 0.5, it gives me that freedom. Okay, so I have 0.5, and then I can now move it. So you see it perfectly sits on the grid. Then this looks a little bit, out of it, so I'm going to use my pen key here to extend this. So like this, okay? Then I'll do the same thing here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so one advantage of this snap that I mentioned earlier, snap to grid, is that it helps with accuracy. You see with the red line, you know where the other one is, and you don't have to worry about it being unequal. So then I create a line also with my pen here still. Let me step out first. Okay, so oh no, my pen. Yeah, so I create a line. I will go all the way down to midway because I'm still going to create like the vertical line, the horizontal line rather. So then I can now continue going. And so here again, snap grid, we see the red line, we know where to put it, so that's it. Then I come here again, escape. Then do we have the red line again? So there we go. So we see that we have, a fairly a fairly good representation of the icon. However, I'm going to make this round a little bit because it looks not the best. So I'll go in here. We have endpoints, and we have a lot of options, but I'll choose round. So we have round. So kind of looks similar to this, not the same thing, but it looks similar, which is good enough for now. And then there we go. So one thing I didn't do earlier is to make this a frame. It should be a frame. So let me see if I can save it. OK, great. So I'm going to label it microphone. Icon / outlined. And we'll see the advantage in a bit for advantage of naming with the slash. OK, then I'm going to duplicate this and make a So because I did this late, it's not inside, so I'll just move it into here, yeah. And then I'll duplicate and make the field version. So I'm going to edit here, see field. So then this is rather straightforward because the only thing I'll do here is Shift X, and then boom, we have the field version. Then here we have our icons ready. So after this, what I'm going to do next is to remove these guys. We don't need them anymore. I'm going to do the same for these guys. We don't need them anymore. Yep, so our icons are ready. And then how do I post making these icons? How do I make it ready for dev to use or ready for design to use? I have to make it into components. So, but before I do make it into a component, I'm just going to do Control-D here. I'm not sure how much time I have. OK. So yeah, I'll just run through this. And then select these guys and make them use the boolean operation. There are different options, but for this one, you're just going to choose union, make them into a union, and then also flatten, Command E or Control E. So flatten helps it to become like a single object. So then it's cannot be edited any longer. So flatten this and do the same thing for this guy. Union, Command E. Here, so we do have it. And then I can just select both of this and make them a component set. Yeah, so there we have it. And then automatically, what Figma does is to generate the properties and the variants. So we have a field, outline variant, and they have 24 pixels. So if there's a situation where we have different pixels, so because a couple of companies have 16 pixels, 32 pixels, 48 pixels, so you have all of that defined here, and then it can be used as a link. So that's that. Here we have our icon. And also, we can choose to scale this icon. So Figma has feature that allows you scale. I'm just going to use this as an example. Let me go here. Let me just union it first. OK. So I press K, and then we have options. Options, 2x. Here we have our 48 by 48 icon. Or I can decide to go 12 by 12. I'm not sure if 12 by 12 is very popular, but yeah, 18 by 18 or 16 by 16 mostly. So there we have it. You can also scale the icon. So that says the basic simple definition or simple process of creating an icon. Here we have a couple of Figma shortcuts that I used along the line. And then I'm going to give shout out to Miggy from Figgy. He does really good icon classes and online, and that's really helped me so much in my career. All right, thank you, guys.
So much.